Hello there. Last night the people of the UK found out just how little control their elected government has over this country. The government has passed an Act of Parliament that allows for newcomers to be flown to Rwanda for relocation in a safe environment. But a combination of the UK courts and a foreign court, the European Court of Human Rights or ECHR, has overturned this, and the first flight never left the runway. And guess what? The UK Home Office is still waiting for a written copy of what Priti Patel called an opaque ruling. Now, the UK courts may have ruled that the flights can take off, but those same courts did ensure that the aircraft had shed the overwhelming majority of its occupants first. A blatant example of a country's government that has no control over its own borders and immigration policy. Wouldn't it be different if the government had a majority of 70 to 80 MPs? Now, the European Court of Human Rights comes under the umbrella of the Council of Europe, which has 46 member states. It used to have 47 members, but Russia was suspended from and also withdrew from the Council in March this year. And although the Council of Europe shares a flag, an anthem, and buildings with the European Union, it is separate from the European Union. Although the pair do operate in lockstep, it seems. And I will remind everyone that the European Union member states are all required by EU law to be members of the Council of Europe and so be bound by the European Convention on Human Rights. Now, under the Lisbon Treaty, the EU itself, Brussels, is also required to join the Council so as to be a signatory to the Convention and be bound by the Convention as well. But that has so far been blocked by the EU's court, the ECJ, because it says doing so would be incompatible with EU law. That's right, folks. The EU is breaking its own international law, the Lisbon Treaty, by not signing up to human rights. And the hypocritical Ramonas just dismiss that. So if the EU itself is not a member of the ECHR, why should the UK have to be? Anyway, it is this non-EU court that ordered the removal of 3 of the handful of passengers left on the flight, so stopping its departure. And that court can do this because the UK is a signatory to the European Convention on Human Rights, which is binding on the UK. And we are therefore beholden to that body's court, the European Court of Human Rights. We have to obey. And it's not as if Rwanda is such a bad place. The EU put in place plans to send asylum seekers there back in 2019, and I don't remember an uproar about it back then, do you? In fact, it was hailed as a marvellous idea. Anyway, I'm wondering if the UK government wasn't banking on this flight being stopped by human rights lawyers. Because the UK public are getting mighty fed up about this trafficking, money-making racket that gives such lucrative business to criminals and to human rights lawyers. And one thing that locks us into that cycle is the Council of Europe's Court of Human Rights. So, were we to leave the Council of Europe, we would instantly sever our ties with that interfering court. And last night, the ECHR gave the UK government a bandolier of ammunition to use if it decided to go down the route of leaving, and I think we should. Or the alternative might be that the next ruling coming out from the ECHR is that the UK has to lay on free ferries for all comers. And that is the dream of the open borders campaigners, and of our more Marxist politicians as well. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we should leave the Council of Europe and therefore ditch the political control its court has over us. And thankfully, the UK government has today not ruled out doing so. As I said, if membership is not good enough for Brussels,